Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and today we are going to discuss about the principles of perceptual organization, and this is also said as Gestalt principles or laws of Gestalt psychology. Let's start. Gestalt laws of organization. It is a series of principles that describe how we organize bits and pieces of information into meaningful whole. If you look this figure, this pattern looks like different to us, but if we start looking it nicely, then we can see the two faces over here, and we can also see a vase over here. So this means it's a series of principles that helps us organize bits and pieces of information into meaningful whole. Gestalt, it is a psychological term which means united whole. It refers to the theories of visual perception developed by German psychologist Max Wertheimer in 1920s. This theory attempts to describe that how people learn to organize visual elements into groups or unified whole when certain principle is applied. Now let us know about those principles as well. Gestalt psychology believes that much of perception is shaped by innate inner factors built into the brain. So both sensation and perception takes here. So, Gestalt psychology use the term insight here to describe this type of human behavior and summarize the behavioral process under following three steps. So, Gestalt focus covert behavior and vision, that is, perception of the situation as a whole, seeing and judging relationship between the various factors involved in the situation, and next is taking a immediate decision. So this kind of thing is used even in the psychometric tests, like you can also understand this through the gestalt psychology for the psychotherapy as well. So it is based on two key principles, and the core principle is law of Pragnas, that is simplicity. It is the master rule. It states that when we are presented with a complex or ambiguous set of stimuli, our brain will interpret it into the simplest, most stable, and most orderly way possible. Like, look at this figure. How do you perceive this figure? Definitely, you perceive it as the circle they are, which are tied together, right? So, when we see Olympic logo, we see five interlocking circles, not the complex collection of uneven curved lines. So, we don't perceive it as uneven curved lines. We perceive it as the five interlocking circles. So it is the law of Pragnas, that is simplicity. It is the master rule where we try to make simple to the ambiguous set of the stimuli. Next is key grouping principle. One is the law of Pragnas, and next is key grouping principle, which follows the shortcuts of our brain. That can be proximity, similarity, closure, continuity, and common fit. Let's discuss more about the laws of Gestalt psychology. Number one, law of figure and ground, or principle of figure and ground. You can say anything. So, law of figure and ground is one example of Gestalt laws of perceptual organization. When you see figure, what do you perceive? Definitely, you will perceive a frame which is hanged in a wall, right? You perceive in that way. So, for you, the figure is this picture, and this yellow wall is ground. So, when we see a visual stimulus, the center of our attention that attracts our vision is called figure, and the rest is indistinct, and that is called the background or ground. For example, a figure hanged on a wall, words on a page, mountains against the sky are perceived as figure, while the wall, page, and sky are the ground. So look at this image. What are you able to identify in this image? If you see a young lady, that is figure for you, and other thing are the ground for you. But if you perceive a old lady, that is figure for you and other are the ground for you. Similarly, you can look over here. If you see two faces, at first they are figure for you and rest of the thing are the ground for you. And if you see this picture, this black picture which we use even in the chessboard, so these can be the figure for you and rest can be the ground for you. Next law or the next principle is the principle of similarity. The brain tends to group similar elements. Items are alike are grouped. For example, A, B, B, B is perceived as three A's and three B's. Objects that are similar in color, size, or shape are usually perceived as a pattern. So if you look at here, how do you perceive it? You can perceive it as the horizontal circle, sorry, vertical circle over here, vertical triangle over here, and vertical circle over here, and your horizontal circle, horizontal triangle. So you will group accordingly, right? So these are the principle of similarity. Next is principle of proximity. So if you see this figure, how do you take it? How do you understand it? Is it the sixth line or three pairs of two sets of line? What is for you? So according to the proximity, we group it as one, right? So this is the three sets of the lines. So our brain tends to group objects that are close to one another. Items are close to each other are perceived as a group according to Gestalt psychology. According to the Gestalt psychology, the principle of continuity, it is also known as the good continuation or common fit. So, if possible, the brain organizes the stimuli into continuous line or patterns rather than discontinuous element. Here in this figure, what can be our next image? There are two lines, one is a straight line and other is the wavy line. So, this is the principle of continuity or a common fit. So the continuity principle of Gestalt psychology says that we perceive continuous flowing lines more easily than the broken lines. So items that continue a pattern or direction tend to be grouped as a part of a pattern. Next, the principle of closure. If you look in this structure, this is space, what they are trying to do over here. As they are kept closer, they form a triangle, right? So it is the principle of closure. People tend to perceive incomplete figures as complete even though the pattern is missing because our perceptual process create a complete whole object from that missing pattern. So, principle of perceptual organization are readily visible in the natural world and they are effective in helping us to organize the perceptual world. You will find different kinds of laws or principle about the perceptual organization, and it's really important. The major core theme of this theory is that we identify everything as a united whole. Thank you so much for watching this video. These are the references. You can go through these references to learn further. Thank you so much for watching this video.